items anybody would like to pull that we haven't? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, all opposed. Motion carries 7-0. So at this time, we will move to the regular agenda. First item, FMPA1. Dr. Fenoy. Oh, new business. New business. Gone down far enough. BRD2, ratify.
BRD2, I recommend the board approve and ratify the attached proclamation to honor and recognize Aniria Elizabeth Hadley Hudnall.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Dr. Robinson. Any comments? So, Dr. Robinson?
So this is the third proclamation of this type that we've done. It will be my honor to deliver it to the family at her memorial ceremony. I just would like for the English majors to look and see. I believe we should capitalize Black in Black history.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mrs. Andrews?
It would also be my honor to be there, too, to help present this proclamation. I'm a graduate of Roosevelt High School. This is where she taught so many of us so many wonderful things, and I, too, would like to be there. Thank you.
Any other comments? If not, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. COM3.
COM3, I recommend the board proclaim August 31st, 2018 as International Overdose Awareness Day.
Is there a motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Brill? Discussion. Dr. Robinson.
I would just like follow-up in terms of what we are doing in terms of curriculum to educate students on the dangers of not only opiates but other substances. And that can be an email later. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next item, FMPA3.
FMPA3, I recommend the board approve the consultant agreements with Crystal Clear Learning Innovations, LLC for the period September 1, 2018 through June 13, 2019, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Is there a motion to approve this item? Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, second by Mr. Barbieri. Dr. Robinson.
So it's that time of year when these things start coming forward where we're sharing public dollars with private schools, and so this is the first one. It's a shot over the bow. I'm voting against it. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 6-1 with Dr. Robinson voting against. FMPF1. Dr. Fenoy.
FMPF1, I recommend the board receive and accept the monthly contract and disbursement report as submitted.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. Brill, second by Mrs. Andrews. Dr. Robinson.
Yep, it's just not good enough, so I'm voting against it.
Mr. Shaw.
Mrs. Andrews.
I spoke about this department a little earlier in my comments. I'm just pretty pleased that they're stepping out of the box to educate and communicate and collaborate with more people, more vendors, more businesses who really don't get an opportunity. When we sometimes look at who actually gets the bid and who actually gets the money based on the advertisement process, many people don't understand that. And I was really very proud of the school district of Palm Beach County in the presentation last week with the deputy chief of operations and the purchasing department, general manager and director, as well as the diversity and business practices director, coming out to the community, making it a point that they're going to be working with the cities as well as the chambers, especially in the western region, to make sure that we get more opportunities for people. So this makes me proud, and I just want to be on record again.
Dr. Robinson?
Thank you. Well, maybe I need to be corrected. This is the purchasing report. This is not the work of the Office of Diversity and Business Practices, as I understand. So as I understood the comments, they were based on the work of the Office of the Diversity and Business Practice. I would agree they're making strides, but we're just not there yet. So on this report, total payments to MWBE, SBE, and self-reported firms was 2.98% of the purchases. So this is purchasing.
I do understand that, but we have to get out and get there to make that change. So I want to be on record to say that our district is making an effort. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 6-1 with Dr. Robinson voting against. Next item, FMPF2.
FMPF2, I recommend the board approve the Amendment 1 to the consultant agreement with Cornerstone Solutions Florida, LLC, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. McQuinn, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Let the record show this was the item that Mrs. Brill won't vote on. Any comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 6-0 with Mrs. Brill abstaining. Next item, LD1.
LD1, I recommend the board authorize the general counsel to file an appeal of the State Board of Education's final order with the 4th District Court of Appeal pursuant to Section 1002.33, 6D Florida statutes.
Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. LD2.
LD2, I recommend the board authorize the general counsel to file an appeal of the State Board of Education's final order with the 4th District Court of Appeal pursuant to Section 1002.33, 6D Florida statutes.
Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Brill. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. P2.
P2, I recommend the board approve the personnel addendum as submitted.
Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Mrs. Brill. We have good cause on these positions have been added to the board. The good cause are for these people to be, or the good cause tonight were items BRD2, which would be the proclamation. Good cause exists to permit us to get that item to the family in a timely manner. LD1 and LD2 were the items we just talked about related to the appeal. Good cause in order to allow staff time to make the information and do all of the work that needs to be done to meet the requirements of statute. And TL7, the consultant agreement on urban policy, good cause in order for us to encumber the money that has to be encumbered by a certain time. So on P2, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed. Motion carries 7-0. PC11.
PC11 Design Services. I recommend the board approve the design contracts with Song & Associates Incorporated for the Odyssey Middle School site renovations and addition, project number 2601-7100, RFP number 19C-0025, for a fee of $1,193,079, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all required documents as necessary.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. Brill, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Mrs. Brill.
Thank you. And I pulled this. I am supporting it, and I did speak to Dr. Fenoy about part of this, but this is one of those occasions when I'm going to be district-centric and talk about the community around the school. The community, back when we approved Odyssey being transitioned into South Tech, the only concern they had in waiting a year was making sure that we had some signage up, that it didn't just look like the school was sitting there. So I did speak to Dr. Fenoy about getting something like coming soon, South Tech Academy. But what came up to me today and also last week subsequent to my comments to Dr. Fenoy is that when we get the architect out there, Very easy fix in the fence around the front of the school. There are cups that spell out number 17, never again, and stars forever. And the community's asking, they weren't really loving having plastic cups spelling messages out on the fence, but they're asking now that we're transitioning to something else, just get those cups off there, please. And I promised that to Cobra today that we would move on that signage. Thank you.
Take care of it.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. TL7.
Yes, TL7. I recommend the board approve the consultant agreement with Urban Policy Development, LLC, in the amount of $100,000 for the period of September 13th, 2018 through June 30th, 2019, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Dr. Robinson. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed, motion carries 7-0. That concludes our agenda, so we'll move to non-agenda speakers.